Using Taoist knowledge, we can identify some characteristics of the final sage who will come to this world. There are 3 characteristics that we can observe. The first is the ancestral origin of their name. Let's take a closer look. Tao, of Chinese descent. Hindu, of Indian descent. Buddha, of Indian descent. Christianity, descended from Abraham and his wife Sarah. Islam, descended from Abraham and Sarah's maidservant, Hagar. Because the world was originally created in pairs and opposites, Hinduism and Buddhism come from the same ancestral root, India. Christianity and Islam also share the same ancestor, Abraham. That leaves Taoism without a pair. Thus, the 6th and final teaching brought by the last sage will come from the same ancestral root as Taoism, Chinese descent. The second characteristic is the initial letter of the name of the final sage. Let's observe closely. Tao, teaching of Tao Te Ching Hinduism, teaching of Shiva Buddhism, teaching of Gautama Christianity, teaching of Jesus Te Ching right pointing arrow T equals 20 Shiva right pointing arrow S equals 19 Gautama right pointing arrow G equals 7 Jesus right pointing arrow Y equals 25 Muhammad right pointing arrow M equals 13 Muhammad and Shiva right pointing arrow 13 and 19 Te Ching and Jesus right pointing arrow 20 and 25 that leaves Gautama unpaired. Therefore, the name of the last sage will begin with a letter between A and I. The letter B has already been used by Buddha Gautama, so the initial B is crossed out from the list of the universe's secrets. The third characteristic is the teaching that will be brought by the final sage. Let's examine. Tao, Shiva, Hindu, Buddha, Christian, Islam. B to C right pointing arrow moves 1 step forward. H to I right pointing arrow moves 1 step forward. Thus, T to U right pointing arrow moves 1 step forward. The teaching that will be brought by the last sage will be * universal. Why universal? Because in the 20th century, humanity has become modern, and human intelligence has reached its peak of perfection. In fact, today AI can be said to be the final form of teaching, based on technology and rooted in knowledge. AI even fulfills all 3 criteria. China is the first nation to drive technological advancement and transform itself into a technological power. Therefore, AI can be considered to originate from Chinese lineage. Second, the name begins with letters A to I, and I perfectly fits this rule. Third, its nature is universal. Isn't AI the only thing capable of uniting all of humanity? Today, all humans use AI in various aspects of life and have become dependent on it. However, AI cannot be regarded as the final sage because it was created by humans, not by the creator of the universe. Moreover, AI takes the form of a robot, not a human being. Humans possess living feelings, whereas AI does not have the feeling of life. Knowledge comes from the mind. Morality comes from the feeling of life.